The floor goes to the other rapporteur, Mr. Gerbrandy, for 4 minutes.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and let me start by thanking my fellow rapporteur, Pablo Zalba, for the excellent work so far, and I'm also looking forward to working closely together in the coming months. This interim report is primarily procedural, and there was a reason for it, because we only just started with our work. There is, however, one strong political point in it, and that is that we call upon the Commission to better and more swiftly cooperate with the work of our inquiry committee. That was the case when we adopted this interim report in committee. I must say that since then the Commission has considerably improved its cooperation, and I hope that we can continue that way of working. So far, our inquiry committee has collected a lot of, well, let's say technical evidence. We spoke with car manufacturers, producers from emission control technologies, software experts, academics, NGOs. Most of the technical part we have done so far. And we just began with the political part of our inquiry. We have had hearings with a whole bunch of commissioners, starting with former commissioners Dimas, Potočnik, Verheugen and Tajani, and yesterday evening with the current commissioners Bieńkowska and Vella. Very crucial also will be our focus on the member states, and I'm very much looking forward to the hearings with national ministers in the coming weeks, and I sincerely call upon those ministers who have not yet confirmed their attendance to do so. European democracy also means that national ministers are accountable for their position in Europe. We will also hear the American EPA and the national type approval authorities. What have we found so far? Well, first of all, we of course discovered that this is much more than just the Volkswagen case. We have seen that other car manufacturers are shutting down their emission abatement technology when the temperature goes below 17 degrees or after 22 minutes. That comes close to the 20-minute test cycle. So we've seen that the problem is much bigger than just Volkswagen, and that is something that we have to explore further on. Also, we still have a lot of questions concerning the role of member states. We do see that there has been quite a weak implementation and enforcement of European legislation, and that is something that we sincerely have to discuss very closely with the national ministers. Another question that we are still digging in is, why did it take so long to develop this new real driving emission test? In 2010, the Commission work document said that it would take roughly 2 years for this technical exercise to develop this test. And we all know that it took many more years, and that is something that we have to dig in as well. Finally, it's 1 year after the scandal broke, and since then we have done a lot, but there are still millions and millions of diesel cars on the European roads that do not comply with current legislation. And that is something that we have discussed yesterday with Commissioner Bieńkowska, and I'm very happy with her strong approach now. We are waiting within weeks for some infringement procedures, but it's certainly something that we are still going to focus upon. Also, the recall of vehicles, that is still primarily based on a voluntary approach. I'm very much looking forward to the coming months. We will conclude our report in March next year, and I hope that we can draw not only conclusions about what happened in the past, but also some conclusions, lessons for the future, because that might be the most important part of our inquiry. Thank you.
Thank you, Rapporteur. The floor now goes to Commissioner Bieńkowska.
Thank you very much, President, honourable members. This is an important debate, really, and I'm glad to be here. First of all, I of course want to thank both the rapporteurs for their work. It's been almost a year since the emissions